Nika is not lazy. He works 50 hours a week. He gets tired. He carries stress. He wakes up early and comes home exhausted every night. But by the end of the month, Nika has the same question every single time. Where did my money go? Now, you might think, obviously, his salary's just too low. And that's partly true. Low income is a real problem. If you can barely cover the basics, no saving advice in the world fixes that. But there's another problem. Nika earns more. But his expenses grow right alongside it. This is one of the most common traps out there. When income goes up, we don't just raise our savings, we raise our whole lifestyle. And before we even notice it, the new salary already feels just as tight as the old one. One bad day at work. The boss says something. Nika is exhausted. He goes home, opens his phone, opens an online store. Expensive headphones, $180. I worked all week, he tells himself. I really deserve this. He buys them. He's happy. The next day, the headphones sit on the table. Nika is still tired. The problem isn't the headphones. The problem is when we start using money to regulate our emotions. Bad day? You buy something. Good day? You buy something. You're exhausted? You buy something. You accomplish something. You buy something again. And eventually, you might notice you're not really buying things. You're buying a few minutes of feeling good. Nika runs into an old friend. The friend has a new car. It's shiny. It's beautiful. Nika stares. His eyes go wide. For a second, he imagines himself behind that wheel. Sunglasses on, music playing. Then he snaps back to reality. He opens a loan app. Only $450 a month, it says. Nika buys it. At first, he's thrilled. Then the calendar starts turning. 1 month, 2 months, 6 months, 12 months, minus $450 every single time. Sometimes we don't want something because we need it. We want it because somebody else has it. And the strangest part, everyone around him might be performing for someone else too. Nika sits at home, a small box on the table. It says, savings. He drops in $100. He smiles. Then his phone rings. A friend. Come on, let's go out tonight. Nika looks at the box, then at the phone. Fine. But this is the last time this month. Next month, the same thing happens. And the month after that, the same thing again. We tell ourselves, I'll start tomorrow. Tomorrow, I'll save. Tomorrow, I'll learn to invest. Tomorrow, I'll track my expenses. Tomorrow, I'll finally get my life together. But in personal finance, tomorrow might be the most expensive word there is. Here's where a second character comes in, Luca. Luca is a completely ordinary guy, just like Nika. He's not rich. He doesn't wear a suit. He doesn't drive a Lamborghini. Both of them get paid the same, $1,500. Nika says, "This is my money. Now I want to live well." Luca splits his paycheck into 4 parts: essentials, savings, future, fun. Luca doesn't save money because he hates enjoying life. He's right there at the restaurant with his friends, laughing just as hard. He just decides in advance how much he can actually spend. Nika, I want it. Luca, I want it, but do I need it? Nika, everyone has one. Luca, do I actually want this? Nika, I'll deal with it next month. Luca, what can I do today? Nika, I just don't have enough money. Luca, how do I grow my income? The difference isn't that one of them loves money and the other doesn't. The difference is how they make decisions. And here's something that has to be said clearly. A person's financial situation isn't shaped by their habits alone. Salary, country, education, family situation, health, the wider economy. A lot of this genuinely matters. But that's exactly why the part you can control matters so much. Income, expenses, debt, savings, skills. You might not be able to control what you get paid today, but you can start controlling what you do with the money you already have. If you don't want to spend your whole life walking the same circle, start with 4 simple questions. First, where's my money actually going? Not roughly, exactly. Second, which of these expenses actually give me real value? Third, how much am I spending just to prove something to other people? And fourth, how do I grow my income? Cutting expenses has a limit. Growing your income has a lot more room. A few years later, Nika still works, but now his salary is $2,500. His expenses, $1,800. His savings, $700. He's still an ordinary guy. He's not a millionaire. He doesn't have a mansion. But for the first time, he has something. Wealth doesn't always mean having a lot of money. Sometimes, wealth just means your life no longer waits on the next paycheck. Maybe your problem was never that you don't work hard enough. Maybe your money is simply moving faster than you are. Are you controlling your money? Or is your money controlling you? If you saw yourself somewhere in this video, next time we're digging into something even more interesting. Why some people spend even more the exact moment their income goes up. Subscribe if you want to learn not just how to make money, but how people actually think about it.